Hey, I'm Herald sports writer Manny Navarro here, joined once again by our high school sports writer Fernandez. We're inside the South Dade, I don't want to say gym, this is the weight room, right? Where they get busy here. South Dade just finished winning the district title tonight, knocking off South Ridge, who's the runner-up now in the district. So we know what the playoff settings are for next week, but hey, you know what? We still got one more week of the regular season to go. So your thoughts as we head into the final week of the regular season, Andre?
Well, if you look at the standings right now, and really you look from top to bottom, all the powerhouses have one loss. That shows you how much parity there's been this season. A lot of the big-time teams we thought would be a national championship contention suffered at least one setback. Coral Gables is sitting pretty as the only unbeaten team among the upper echelon, which I don't think anybody thought they'd be the only one. But just to name the team, this team looks like it's got everything going for them again. They had their hiccup, now they're back. Big win today in the tiebreaker to beat one of the biggest rivals, South Ridge. In Broward, you've got St. Thomas eyeing another state championship. Flanagan looks like the favorite in 8A right now, along with these guys. Columbus had a setback. They've got to get things going over there. American Heritage, how can I forget? One botched extra point away from being undefeated. They know how well that team destroyed Allendale the other day. Probably going to get a rematch. We don't have that much time in this video, but that's just some of the examples of teams that have a chance in the playoffs.
Let's get to the games, and a team that's not going to the playoffs, actually two teams not going to the playoffs. They meet Thursday night. Killian taking on Norland at North Miami Stadium, so this is essentially a bowl game for the two teams that are out. Two good teams that really all season long were in the fight.
Yeah, they really were. And you know what? I'm going to give credit to Killian because they lost a lot from last year. Two special players on that team that have been part of that success for 4 seasons. One missed not extra point. They went for 2. Gutsy call to try and do that, in a tiebreaker. They came up on the short end and are left out of the playoffs for this season. But I'll tell you what, next season, the Cougars are going to be very good. A lot of young talent on that team. New Orleans surprised me that they were out, victim of that incredibly tough district with Western and Carroll City. Great defense again, one of the best all the way around. Vikings have to find some offense for next season. This game, I think they'll prevail in this particular game, but looking forward, Coach Heidelberg and those guys, they need to generate some more offense. It's 2 years in a row, and they have an outstanding defense, but just not enough offense to get it.
Gotta go find the next Duke Johnson. All right, Friday night we got a series of games, and this one's definitely the best one on the palette. Flanagan taking on St. Thomas Aquinas at Aquinas, 7 o'clock kickoff. Now, the one thing I will caution, and we talked about this in the preseason, most likely we're not going to see a whole lot of starters in this game.
I know, and if all things were equal, I really like the way Flanagan is playing right now, and I think they'd be more than capable of going in there and pulling off a shock. Not a shocker, but a good, solid victory over the program, St. Thomas Aquinas. But because of Aquinas' depth, you look at that roster, they have like 100 kids on it. They could put some backups in there, and they'll still be all right. I'm going to give a slight edge to the Raiders to pull this one off, but you're looking at 2 teams that could end up in Orlando with some hard work.
All right, I'm going actually with Flanagan because I think those coaches, listen, I know a little something about that program. I know not that St. Thomas would sit guys on purpose, but I have a feeling Flanagan, this team's going to need something extra to that coaching staff.
I know Coach Bush just doesn't want to get anybody hurt for the big picture. That's the only reason I hesitate just a little bit. We'll see.
Jackson taking on Northwestern in the Soul Bowl at Travis Powell Stadium, 7:30 kickoff. Neither one of these teams making the playoffs, Andre. And in years past, I think one of them always managed to.
Yeah, well, last year it was very entertaining because both of them did. Both of them were playoff teams last year. Of course, it was the revival for the Jackson Generals. They hadn't won this thing in 12 years at the time. Not only won, completely routed Northwestern in that game. It was a huge win for the program over there. This year, it's more for morale, more for bragging rights. I saw some Facebook posts this week by Coach Earl Little. He's telling his kids not to quit just because this doesn't mean anything for the playoffs, to come out with some pride and play hard. Coach Edwards over there at Northwestern did the same thing in the season where they got very, very close to getting into the postseason. I'm going to go with the Generals just by a little bit. I don't think they'll blow out Northwestern like they did last year, but they have a great quarterback in Desmond Phillips. The last time we're going to see him, I think he has a good send-off for his high school career.
I'm with you. I think the Generals win for the second year in a row. All right, Carroll City taking on American. Carroll City's locked up the district. So is American. This is 7:30 kickoff at Mylander. So 2 district champions, 2 rivals, but not in the same classification. So will there be fire in this game?
I think there'll be a little bit of fire. It's a neighborhood rivalry. Again, they're going to be careful with injuries and whatnot, but they'll come out, they'll play a lot of their starters. I think it's Carroll City, though. They finally got the big clutch victory that they needed. I know they beat Central earlier in the season, but the loss to Norland cast some doubt on them again. stepped up, came through with that Northwestern victory, and now they have a district championship. They haven't had that in some time over there. I think they come out and win the American. Solid team, tends to make the playoffs every year. They're going to get Columbus in the first round, but kind of like Northern, they've been a little bit offensively challenged all year. Unless they fix that, I don't see them going very far again in the postseason. They got to get that fixed before they face next quarter.
Herald City doesn't score a whole lot of points, so I would say that this is 50-50, to be honest with you.
I think the Chiefs found their mojo now. I think they're going to have a little momentum.
All right. Boyd Anderson taking on Nova. Nova winning the district championship last week. Boyd Anderson, of course, rebounds from their winless season a year ago, and they're having a great year over there under Eddie Brown. Who do you like in this one?
Well, I mean, congrats to Nova, first off. I mean, I wanted to say something on camera. That's a hell of an accomplishment for that program over there. It's been a while since they've had something like this, a trophy like this they've been on to, 20 years in fact. But Eddie Brown and those guys, what a turnaround. They're one of the biggest turnarounds this season. I'm going with the Cobras. I think they have too much. Don't discount the possibility that they can make some noise in the 6A playoffs later on.
I'm with you. All right, Miami High at South Ridge. South Ridge sneaks into the playoffs. Miami High, your dad's alma mater, still looking for that to break through here.
Yeah, well, they couldn't do it this year. Obviously, they're stuck in a tough district. Their Gables and Columbus. If you look at the Ridge, though, they lost to South Dade in this tiebreaker, but they did some things right. They kind of got things going a little bit. I'm going to take them, especially at home, to get through this game and set up their first round showdown. They got payback on their mind. They have Belen, just like last year, on the road in the first round.
All right, 2 Saturday night games, big rivalries. Coral Gables Southwest and Dillard at Blanche Ely. Dre, give me your picks in these 2 games.
Well, Gables Southwest, I mean, like I said, Gables the only unbeaten team left in Dade. I think they have a great, solid running game. They can get the occasional big play out of their passing game. Kevin Romer's had a tremendous year on special teams for those guys. Their defense is really clicking right now. Southwest, I love what that kid James Barney is doing right now. He's scoring pretty much every phase of the game, but he can't do it all by himself. He's going to need a lot of help in this game.
I'm picking the George Rojas upset. Southwest Eagles are going to knock off Coral Gables, give them their first loss of the season. How about that?
Well, it would be fitting with the theme of this season. Everybody gets a loss.
Everybody goes into the playoffs with a loss. I think Coral Gables plays it smart and rests their guys. All right, and then last one, Dillard and Ely. Did Ely make the playoffs?
Yes, they actually they've had, not to make fun of Ely, but they're the reverse of the 1 on the record. They are 1-8, trying to avoid going 1-9 this year into the postseason. If they can actually pull off the Soul Bowl. They're at home. For their sake, I hope they pull it off, make that record look a little better going into that game. But I got to go with Dillard. Dillard seems like they did some things in this play.
Yeah, I think Dillard takes the Fabian Lion Bowl. All right, that wraps it up for this week's show. We'll see you next week when the playoffs get underway.